Number 6. Rob Furlong. The 2.43 kilometers kill that shook the mountains of Afghanistan. In the thin air of the Afghan mountains, where enemies hide in shadows, and wind decides the fate of bullets, one sniper raised his rifle, took the shot of a lifetime, and hit a target at 2,430 meters away. This is the story of Rob Furlong, the Canadian sniper who redefined modern warfare with one impossible shot. Rob Furlong was a corporal in the Canadian Forces, calm, focused, and trained to perfection. He wasn't just a marksman, he was a student of the environment. Altitude, wind, humidity, and gravity. Everything mattered. And in 2002, those skills were about to be tested in one of the most treacherous battlefields on Earth. In March 2002, NATO forces launched Operation Anaconda, a joint effort to root out Taliban and al-Qaeda forces from the Shah-i-Kot Valley in Afghanistan. The terrain was brutal. The enemy, experienced fighters hardened by decades of guerrilla warfare. And high in those mountains, Rob Furlong and his sniper team waited. Furlong spotted an al-Qaeda fighter preparing to attack American forces. The distance was 2,430 meters. Wind was swirling, and the target was walking. Furlong adjusted for elevation, windage, and Coriolis drift. He fired. Miss. Fired again. And the send shot was close. Then the third shot, which was a direct hit. The enemy collapsed. It was the longest confirmed sniper kill in history at the time. Furlong used the Macmillan TAC-50, a Canadian-made long-range sniper rifle. It fired the massive .50 BMG round, designed for anti-material use. But in the hands of a master sniper, it became a surgical weapon. Furlong's team confirmed the kill with a laser rangefinder and spotter support. No doubt. No error. A clean kill, from over 1.5 miles away. Rob Furlong's name entered sniper history. But he didn't seek fame. He remained quiet, focused, and professional. His shot became a case study in sniper schools around the world, the perfect blend of math, patience, and mastery. Years later, his record was broken, first by a British sniper, Craig Harrison, in 2009. Then by an anonymous Canadian JTF-2 sniper in 2017. But Rob Furlong's shot was the first to cross into the realm of the impossible. The first to show the world that 2 kilometers was no longer a boundary, but just another challenge. Rob Furlong proved that even in the vast mountains of war, with the right skill, the right mindset, and the right moment, a single bullet could change history. One shot. One legend. A Canadian sniper who set the standard for all who followed. Juba, the Baghdad sniper, the phantom of the Iraq War. In the chaos of modern warfare, one name echoed through military bases and dark corners of the internet. A name whispered in fear. Juba, the sniper who haunted American troops in Iraq, killing, vanishing, and leaving only a bullet and a message behind. One shot. One kill. No one knows who Juba really was. Some say he was one man, a highly trained Iraqi marksman. Others believe Juba was a myth, a propaganda tool, a name used by many insurgent snipers under one identity. What's certain is that American soldiers died from carefully calculated shots across Baghdad, Fallujah, and Ramadi. Juba became a symbol of fear, resistance, and mystery. Juba's signature? One precise shot. Always fatal. Mostly targeting U.S. soldiers, often while they manned machine guns or dismounted during patrols. He didn't spray bullets. He waited. He studied. He fired once. And vanished. In 2005, a chilling video titled Juba the Baghdad Sniper emerged online. It showed dozens of kills, each confirmed by infrared footage, timestamps, and clear, emotionless narration. He often left notes with spent cartridges. Juba was here. These videos weren't just records, they were psychological warfare. U.S. troops started wearing extra armor, riding lower in vehicles, and keep changing routes. Still he struck. Was Juba even real? Some U.S. military officials believed he was just one insurgent, highly skilled, extremely dangerous. Others suggested the Islamic Army in Iraq fabricated the identity, turning every successful sniper kill into another chapter in the myth of Juba. A phantom, a psychological weapon. Whether real or not, Juba succeeded in what snipers have always done best. He shook morale. Troops knew that somewhere out there, a shadow with a rifle was watching. Watching for a mistake. And when the shot rang out, it was always too late. After 2007, the name Juba faded. The insurgency changed. Technology evolved. But his story still circulates. In forums. In war journals. In nightmares. Some say he was killed. Others believe he lives on. A ghost in another war. Juba may never be identified. He might have been one man, or many. But one truth remains. In modern warfare, snipers are not just assassins. They are symbols of fear. And Juba, whether man or myth, was the most feared of all. The 3.5 kilometers kill. The anonymous Canadian sniper who shocked the world. One man. One bullet. Greater than 3,540 meters. A shot so distant. The target never heard it. This is not a video game. This is not Hollywood. This is real. This is the story of the anonymous Canadian sniper who pulled the impossible trigger and made the longest confirmed sniper kill in human history. In 2017, deep in the war-torn urban sprawl of Iraq, a highly classified Joint Task Force 2, JTF-2, operation was underway. JTF-2 was the Canada's most elite and secretive special forces unit. It was embedded with Allied troops, assisting in the fight against ISIS. Among them, a sniper team. And in that team, an anonymous Canadian soldier, calm, invisible, and watching. The target was an ISIS fighter preparing to attack coalition forces. The distance was 3,540 meters. That's 2.2 miles, nearly 4 football fields away, stacked end to end 10 times. The shooter lay prone. He accounted for wind, humidity, elevation, and even the Coriolis effect, the Earth's rotation. One breath. One squeeze of the trigger. The bullet took 10 seconds to reach its mark. And when it landed, the target collapsed. Instant. Silent. And over. The rifle used was the Macmillan TAC-50, a Canadian-made anti-material sniper rifle, firing the massive .50 BMG round. At that distance, even the tiniest miscalculation would result in a miss by meters. But this sniper, with his spotter by his side, didn't miss. The team worked as one. The environment became math. And in that moment, they made military history. His name remains hidden. And his face was unknown. He didn't seek glory. No interviews. No medals on TV. No fame. Only a confirmed kill, verified by drone and command that broke every known sniper record on Earth. For JTF-2, anonymity is protection. And he remains a ghost. From Simo Häyhä's iron sights in the frozen forests to Carlos Hathcock's jungle stalks, the sniper's art has evolved. But its core has not changed. Precision, patience, and lethality. Now, technology has pushed the boundaries beyond human imagination. The 3.5 kilometers shot proved what's possible, not just in war, but in human calculation, calm, and will. It wasn't a lucky shot. It was science, training, and courage, perfected in a single moment. A bullet that traveled across time and terrain. To remind the world that sometimes, the deadliest threats are the ones you never see coming. Lyudmila Pavlichenko, Lady Death, the fearless sniper who terrified the Nazis. In a war that shattered millions, a young woman rose from the smoke, with a sniper rifle in her hands, and unshakable resolve in her heart. She became the Nazis' worst nightmare. They called her Lady Death. This is the true story of Lyudmila Pavlichenko, the deadliest female sniper in history. She was born in 1916 in Biela Tserkva, Ukraine. Lyudmila wasn't raised to be a killer. But from a young age, she was fiercely competitive. When boys at school claimed shooting was a man's game, she proved them wrong again and again. She became an expert marksman by 14. Her weapon of choice was the Mosin-Nagant bolt-action rifle. In 1941, Hitler launched Operation Barbarossa, invading the Soviet Union. While many fled, Lyudmila volunteered for the Red Army. Not as a nurse, not as support, but as a sniper. The officers laughed, until she scored 12 confirmed kills during training. They stopped laughing. In the thick forests of Odessa and the rubble of Sevastopol, Pavlichenko began her reign. She moved through trenches like a ghost, picking off German soldiers one by one. Her patience was unmatched, and her aim was lethal. 309 confirmed kills. She didn't just survive the war. She owned the battlefield. Many Nazi snipers were sent specifically to kill her. She engaged in 36 one-on-one sniper duels. She won every single one. For days she would lie still in mud, snow, or blood-soaked ruins, waiting for just one mistake. She didn't flinch. She didn't miss. In 1942, she was sent to the U.S. on a goodwill tour. At just 25, she stood on American soil. In uniform, with 309 confirmed kills. A reporter asked her if she wore makeup at the front. She replied, "I wear my uniform with honor. I have my rifle. And I kill fascists. Isn't that enough?" The crowd stood in silence, then erupted in applause. She was wounded by mortar fire, not once, but 4 times. And each time, she returned. She lost her closest friends, her lover. But she kept fighting. Not for glory, not for revenge, but because her people needed her. After the war, Lyudmila never fired another bullet in combat. She became a historian, a speaker, a voice for forgotten heroes. She died in 1974, but her legacy was carved into the bones of history. Not just as a sniper, but as a symbol of unshakable courage. Lady Death didn't chase fame. She chased justice, one shot at a time. In a world that doubted her, she rose. In a war that demanded strength, she gave it everything. And in the face of death, she became it. Carlos Hathcock, the White Feather. America's silent legend. In the heart of the Vietnamese jungle, there was a ghost. A sniper who crawled for days. Who made impossible shots. And whose white feather drove fear into the hearts of his enemies. His name was Carlos Hathcock, the American sniper who became legend. He was born in 1942 in Arkansas. Young Carlos hunted to feed his family. At just 10 years old, he dreamed of being a Marine. He practiced every day, not for war, but because he loved the rifle. Not knowing he would soon become the embodiment of precision. In the 1960s, the Vietnam War raged. Hathcock was deployed with the 1st Marine Division, with his custom Winchester Model 70 sniper rifle, and so he began his silent work. But unlike others, he wore a white feather in his hat, a mark of pride, and a challenge to the enemy. Soon, he had over 90 confirmed kills, but in truth, the real number was likely 300 plus. He became the Viet Cong's most feared adversary. The North Vietnamese called him the White Feather Sniper. They placed a $30,000 bounty on his head, dead or alive. But Hathcock hunted them first. In one mission, he spotted an enemy sniper hunting him. Hathcock waited. When a reflection from the enemy's scope flashed, he fired. His bullet went straight through the enemy's own scope. Into the eye. 1 shot. 1 kill. His most legendary mission was crawling for 3 days and nights through 2,000 yards of enemy territory, inch by inch. He barely ate, barely breathed. He moved like a shadow. And finally, he reached a vantage point. 1 shot, and a North Vietnamese general fell. He crawled back the same way. No one ever saw him. No one ever knew he was there. That mission alone saved hundreds of American lives. In 1969, tragedy struck. Carlos's vehicle hit a landmine. He pulled fellow Marines from the burning wreck, saving lives while engulfed in flames. Over 40% of his body was burned. His sniper days were over. But his legend had just begun. After recovery, Hathcock trained the next generation of Marine snipers. He helped build the foundation of the USMC Sniper School. Even through pain and PTSD, he carried the pride of a Marine. In 1999, Hathcock passed away. But his story lives on in every Marine rifleman. Carlos Hathcock didn't just fire bullets. He fired hope, courage, and precision in the name of duty. He crawled where no man dared, waited when others rushed, and proved that true legends don't need medals. They need only silence and a single shot. The White Feather Sniper will be remembered forever. The untold legend of Simo, the deadliest sniper in history. In a land where the sun barely rises and the snow falls like silence itself, a ghost moved through the white wilderness, unseen, unheard, but deadly. They called him the White Death. This is the story of Simo Häyhä, the most lethal sniper the world has ever known. He was born in 1905 in a small Finnish village near the Russian border. Simo Häyhä was never destined to be a killer. He was a hunter, a farmer, and a quiet man. But in the silence of the woods, he trained with his rifle daily, hitting targets at 150 meters with iron sights alone. No scope, no luxury, just skill. In November 1939, the Soviet Union invaded Finland in what became known as the Winter War. Outnumbered and outgunned, so the Finnish soldiers turned to guerrilla tactics. And among them, hidden in snowdrifts, was Simo. His rifle had no scope, it reflected sunlight and risked detection. Instead, he used his iron sights. He packed snow in front of his rifle to muffle the blast. He even kept snow in his mouth so his breath wouldn't show in the freezing air. He became invisible. In less than 100 days, Simo Häyhä achieved 505 confirmed kills, the highest sniper kill count in human history. He did it in -20 degrees Celsius to -40 degrees Celsius weather. He never bragged. He never hesitated. Soviet soldiers whispered his name like a ghost story. They began sending snipers and artillery teams just to hunt one man. But he always saw them first. On March 6, 1940, Simo was finally hit. A Soviet bullet tore half his face apart. He was found unconscious and unrecognizable. But he didn't die. He woke up days later, on the very day the war ended. Simo Häyhä had survived death itself. After the war, Simo disappeared from the spotlight. He never sought fame. He lived quietly and humbly. But among soldiers, snipers, and historians, his name lived on. A legend carved in snow and silence. Today, elite military units study his tactics. His name is etched into sniper history. Not because he wanted to kill, but because, when duty called, he became the most effective sniper the world has ever known. He didn't kill for glory. He killed to defend his home. And he did it better than anyone in history. The forest remembers. The snow still whispers. The legend of the White Death. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button for more interesting videos like this.